Hello world, it's Lee Kelson coming to you live from day 5 at Start Me Up Hong Kong 2019, and we're here at the Startup Impact Summit brought to you by WHub, and I'm joined by Pierre Rousseau. Pierre, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lee.
Now Pierre, you're with BNP PARIBAS, is that correct?
Yeah, BNP Paribas, yeah, that's right.
And your role is Strategic Advisor for Sustainable Business.
That's exactly that, yeah.
So tell us about sustainable business.
So you know that most of the people believe that climate change, environmental and social is just about philanthropy, it's just about impact fund, it's just about the green bonds. So what the people do not realize is that every single business needs to include in their business model environmental and social aspect. So more and more the banks which are between investors and corporates have to follow what the clients want to do. So investors want more and more sustainable finance, and corporates want to change the model. So finance and technology, as we know, are the two main means in order to make those change. So banks cannot avoid to be part of this big change, which is to take care of the climate change, biodiversity. But biodiversity and climate change means also taking care of the social aspect.
Yes, very important point. So what was the key message in your talk today to the audience?
So here we are with the tech people. So if you want to measure impact, not only the financial impact, that the banks can do that, but if we have to measure the impact of the investment we are doing in terms of pollution reduction, quality of water, diversity, which is also something that the people care of. If we want to measure the impact of the 17 SDG, you know, SDG has the 17 goals that United Nations have put in place and more people are following. We need to be able to compute them, measure data. Banks don't have the skills to do that. So that's why linking with startup and fintech is very important, because it gives us the opportunity to meet people who will come with a disruptive mind in order to collect those data, to manage those big data, and probably to build the algorithms who will help us to find and to measure this impact.
So I find it interesting that we're still challenged by the climate change skeptics who say that it's that it's not true and we don't need to worry about sustainability. What do you say to that?
Oh, you know, the skeptic, there may be always, everybody can think what they think, but today when you have an IPCC report, which bring the 40 best scientific in the world, will tell you that if we don't do anything, it will happen something, increase of the 3.5 or 4 degrees of the temperature, where nobody will be able, the storm will start to be big, etc. If we do not believe those guys, who we have to believe? So we do believe that those guys are serious. They are expert and they know what they do. So today, what will be really costing us a lot is the cost of inaction. So today we have to put the people in action, and today, to be honest, a lot of investors have already switched to that. A lot of corporates are moving in that direction to change the business model and to be neutral carbon. So I do believe that there is no other choice, as I mentioned today, is irreversible, and there is no other choice that we adapt ourselves to that new way to integrate what we call the externalities, meaning the social capital, the natural capital, into the way that we do business.
So I had a really interesting conversation last week with someone talking about the circular economy and the idea of building into product the design phase of the product, where it has a second and third and fourth life, and so that we actually become into that circular economy. You see, that's an important move that we need to be looking at?
This is fundamental. We can see that even some companies are looking at the way to redo things with the circular way. They can even do it cheaper, because what we have to take into account, technology is bringing every single day new way to do things that we couldn't do in the past. And today, what do we know about technology of tomorrow? So this is why I was pushing about this concept about forward thinking. We are always thinking with the view of the past. No, we have to start to think about anticipating the next. And when we're anticipating the next, we discover that we can do things with the existing things. And recycling, management of waste will become huge business. I just mentioned today that there's been 12 trillion of opportunities of business which has been identified in the world by implementing circular economy, management of waste, smart cities, changing the mobility, making energy efficient. So all these are things that we can do and the technology will help us to do that. And what is great is that finance understand those needs and will help and find a new finance way in order to finance those new initiatives.
That's an amazing statistic. I mean, what was it?
It's not something out of my mind. Everybody can go on Better Business, Better World, which has been mandated by 40 people, including Jack Ma and WBCSD, Paul Polman from Unilever. So those people ask a group of experts in order to define what are the opportunities of business in the world related to the need that we have to do climate change. So everybody see climate change and environmental and social affairs as a cost, but they don't see the opportunity of that. Right. What is true in the business today is that we need to give up something and we need to recreate something. So normally we're not used to do that. We used to be in the linear way to grow. Yeah. No, we are in a disrupt way to grow. We have to stop. We have to stop tobacco. We have to stop coal. So banks need to stop to finance them, but we can recreate many other things. Yeah. And I think the people today don't focus enough on these new opportunities of business. And I do believe being here with the startup and the people who are probably a little more disruptive, the entrepreneurs, the startup, will be definitely new opportunities, new guys who can relaunch and help the big corporates to be disrupted and to find a new solution. Yeah. It's a new way to do business.
It's a new way to do business. On that note, I do have one more question. I think the venture capital market seems to be lagging behind. I know from a lot of startups that are purpose-driven, sustainability-driven, or social entrepreneurship, and the venture capitalists are saying, well, you know, we want to see profit, we want to see money. Do we need to change the way they view the world as well?
This is an excellent question. You know what, the problem we have is that too many people in the way they do business include only the short term. What we need to do is to bring new way to measure also the long term and what the people can do. You know, an investment normally is done also for long term, not only for short term. In fact, if we look really at the world, it should be for long term. So today, too many pressure has been done by the existing system, and the people create a system about looking only at the short term. Maybe we need to have a new system where we look at the short term, which need to be stable, and we need to create also profitability, but also at the long term. And I think if we start to ping the two, you know, I mentioned previously about the cost of inaction. Yes. If the people start to rethink about the discount factor and remake the same computing they do on the integrating the discount factor in the way they make and they measure the investment, maybe they will make a different decision.
Yeah. Very true, very true. Pierre, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. Keep watching. We'll be coming back with more interviews from Startup Impact Summit, brought to you by W Hub, here, day 5 at Start Me Up Festival 2019, Hong Kong.
Thank you.